Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Please do like and subscribe the video. So today I am gonna explain you about plant tissues. So let's do not delay the video. Let's begin the video guys. Stay tuned for more videos. Thank you. So today our topic is about types of plant tissues. Now let's start with the beginning guys. What is a cell? A cell is the smallest structural and functional unit which is typically consists of nucleus and cytoplasm in the membrane. It is known as building blocks of life as it forms the whole body. So, what is a tissue? A single cell working on its own would achieve very little inside an animal or a plant. So, many similar cells lying side by side work together as a team to perform the same function. Such groups are called tissues. What is a tissue? A tissue is a group of similar cells performing a specific function. Most plants and animals possess a tissue system. The human body, for example, has an epithelial tissue covering the skin, the muscular tissue made up of muscle cells which by contraction bring about the movements. In a plant, the conducting tissue conducts water upwards from the soil to the aerial parts and food prepared from the leaves to the lower parts. Relationship between tissue, organ system and organism. Several tissues together contributing to some specific function inside the body constitute an organ, such as tongue having epithelial cells, nerve cells, etc. Many organs acting together to perform a specific life process constitute an organism, such as digestive system. Organ systems together constitute the organism. Plant tissues. Plant tissues are basically of two types, meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue. In meristematic tissue, cells can be multiplied to produce new cells. In permanent tissue, non-dividing and specialized cells are present. Meristematic tissue or meristem. It is found at all growing points of a plant, such as the tips of roots, stems, and branches. It is also present between the bark and the wood of trees, where it leads to growth in a diameter of stem. Characteristics of meristematic tissue. Cells are small, cells are usually cubical, cell wall is thin, nuclei are large, vacuoles almost absent, cells tightly packed with almost no intercellular spaces. The cells actively divide, adding new cells to the plant. New cells thus produced are transformed into mature permanent tissues. The meristematic tissue can be classified into two categories, apical meristem and lateral meristem. Apical or terminal meristem. This is located near the tips of roots and stems and also in the growing young leaves near the tips of stems as well as on the tips of axillary buds. Lateral or cambium meristem. This is situated below the bark and is responsible for increasing the girth, that is, diameter of the stem. Permanent tissues. Permanent tissues are made up of cells which have lost their ability to divide. They take a permanent shape and they may be living or dead and they form a permanent function. According to the function performed, the permanent tissues are of three types: protective tissue, supporting tissue, and conducting tissue. Protective tissue. Cells in protective tissue, cells are thick-walled, found on the surface of root, stem, and leaves. Example: epidermis of leaves, which secretes a waxy waterproof material. Cork cells in the barks contain another strong waterproof material. So, let's learn what is an epidermis. The epidermis is the outer layer of cells of all aerial organs that are in the primary stage of growth. That is, it protects these parts in primary stage of growth. Use. It also protects against water loss, regulates gas exchange, and secretes metabolic compounds. So, supportive tissue. It is of several types. The three most important ones are parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Parenchyma. Large thin-walled cells, oval and circular or polygonal in shape. And parenchyma cells are usually a single large vacuole are present. And it is found in soft parts of plants such as the cortex, outer region, and in the pith, central region. And they may store food as in potatoes, and they provide temporary support to the plant. Some parenchyma cells contain chloroplast and are termed as chlorenchyma. Chloros means green, and they help the leaf to produce food by photosynthesis. Collenchyma. Collen means glue. It is made up of cells which are elongated and the cell wall is thickened at the corners. It is found in the leaf stalk and below the epidermis of stems. The tissue helps in the support the parts of a plant. Sclerenchyma. Scleros means hard. It is composed of long narrow cells which have become dead. These cells develop very thick walls due to the deposition of lignin. This tissue provides strength to plant parts. It is found in stems and veins of the leaves. So now, third one, conducting tissues, also called as vascular tissues. It provides a passage for water and dissolved materials to move up and down the plant. The xylem and phloem are the two types of conducting tissues. Xylem cells are elongated and thick-walled. These cells are somewhat in the form of tubular passages. They provide for upward movement of water and dissolved materials absorbed from the soil by the roots to other parts of the plant. Older xylem. Xylo means wood. This tissue forms the wood and does not participate in transport. We can determine the age of a tree by counting its annual rings, which actually are the xylem rings. The xylem tissue consists of tracheids and vessels, collectively are called as trachea elements, xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers. Xylem tracheids. They are made up of elongated dead cells with large cavities without any contents. The cells are placed end to end forming a long tube. They have highly lignified cell walls. They provide mechanical support by developing various types of thickenings in the walls. Xylem vessels. They are long tube-like structures meant for transporting water and dissolved materials. Their cell walls are quite hard, thick and lignified. They are made up of elongated cells placed end to end. Xylem parenchyma. It consists of living parenchyma cells associated with the xylem. These cells serve for the storage of food, that is sugar and starch, and also help in the conduction of water and minerals. Xylem fibers. They are made up of dead sclerenchyma cells. They are thick-walled, long, narrow cells with tapering ends. Their main function is to provide mechanical support to the plant. Phloem cells. Flews means bark. Phloem cells provide a passage for the downward movement of food manufactured in the leaves to various parts of the plant. They also provide for the upward movement of the prepared food towards the growing leaves. The phloem tissue consists of sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fibers. Sieve tubes. Sieve tubes are made up of elongated cells placed end to end forming a long tube. The transverse walls, called sieve plates, are perforated. They help in the transport of food from leaves to storage organs and other parts of the plant. Companion cells. Living parenchyma cells closely associated with sieve tube cells. They help in the functioning of the sieve tube cells. Phloem parenchyma. It is a parenchymatous tissue found associated with phloem, mainly concerned with storage of starch, fat, and other organic food material. Phloem fibers. They are sclerenchymatous cells found associated with phloem. They mainly provide support. So, here we can conclude that the xylem and phloem are collectively known as vascular bundles. So guys, this was my topic on plant tissues. Thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get more notifications. Thank you.